Okay, we've come to the point now in stave number 633. We have actually taken care of priority points we had mentioned earlier in the belly. That's really faded down. You can see what looked like it was clipped away a lot of mass. It's actually gotten a lot more back into that deep corrugation. Is actually, this is going to be a challenge here, and I love this because to get these to bend, this is the fun right here. We're now working in these lines. This is the general beginning taper. This is where things will go to in general. I always sight down to make sure that it looks like I did a good job with my limbs and what have you, to make sure that when I cut this, that it's, you know, just double check your work all the time. Don't ever assume, because it can be very elusive in that. So now I am going to begin knifing this down. I've actually began roughing it a little bit with the rasp in advance a little bit ago before this video started, kind of get it started on things. And I'm going to clamp it down in here, block here. Just where the handle's out, where the handle's place is showing, and we'll work that limb down from there. Okay. All right. This gets pretty tricky here sometimes. You see where that is wanting to not cooperate right there. So I have to really pay attention where it's lifting from. Change directions or what have you. And if it keeps doing this too much, it becomes a lot of time with the rasp. To bind this down a little better. I want to remove a lot more than I wanted to. As the stave loses mass, holding it down inside these vices is changing all the time. So you kind of have to go with the flow here. There we are. Saw a lot of lifting and feeling there. Catch it early in the game. This is a lot of feel at this point as we come down. The handle is going to dictate where this fade, the handle location is, we would call it, is going to dictate how the mass tapers from here all the way through. Since we want a blended handle, we want maximum limb movement. We have to be very careful on how we deal with this location on the stave for both the handle, the grip, you know, of the bow, but also how the compression and tension begins for that bending off the in the early part of the limb here. You want the bending to occur as early as possible in the limb for as far down as you can to get the maximum limb movement. So everything you do at this point all material moved has to be thought about carefully. Don't ever assume you have a whole bunch of material to work with, even if it looks like it. Because then you get careless and kind of complacent and less diligent about material removal. This little guy here is going to be stubborn until, even though we got rid of the main part of the knot, that action down here of all that grain is really jumpy. Be careful how much of that you do. What you see me doing here? This little grasp and knife dance. This is super critical. Back and forth and back and forth. I don't think one's going to do it all. And there's things you have to consider too with this big heavy rasp. You know, it has a fine side and a rough side. You got to be careful how much into your edge you go too deep, because these big teeth here can leave long deep strikes in the side of your rasp here. So you got to kind of have to, side of your bow here. So you have to decide, be diligent as to when to quit and when to switch over to your smoother side and then start using a scraper. So you just have to kind of be attentive to where you're at, and it's really easy to put some really nice long teeth strikes in your belly and also the sides of your bow lips. This is a generalization. It's going to become more and more streamlined. This is just getting close to the general taper. This is going to become more and more pole-like, sort of a semi-oval. We're not building a flat bow. We are building a traditional English longbow with a semi-oval kind of body. Here's fun. I end up rasping him most of the way down. I got more to go on it too. Okay. So I'm going to continue this, what you see me doing here on the other 3 tapers that are left. Then we'll resume work on the belly. I don't know how well you can see that. Can you see that line pretty good there? Yeah. As far as the taper from the handle area, it's going to be blended. This is the phase now creeping into actually shaping limbs to their taper. And then like I said, I've removed some of the general material for the belly. The reason I took the belly out, a lot of times I don't take the belly out right away unless I have a priority spot. This priority spot required me to do that. It doesn't really matter 100%, but I do prefer doing the taper this way first, then cutting the belly out. But it's not always like that in the perfect world. There's always different reasons for things. But I will get back see you in the next video. We will be getting into probably, we might even be at the point of actually doing floor tiller. So we'll talk to you guys soon.